Today I decided to wake up and go to the park and podcast because I want to, and because people have told me that I'm not putting a lot of myself out there, which is true. So I want to learn how to talk and learn how to articulate my thoughts, how I feel about things. I don't know if this will be relatable, but that's not what I'm trying to focus on right now. Just trying to focus on talking. And it's an exciting year because I'm getting an apartment in 2 weeks, my own apartment, and I haven't lived by myself for 8 years. Since I was about 22 years old is the last time I lived by myself, and that was in Chicago. I had a studio apartment with a bed above the kitchen, and I loved it, and I was very excited. And at the time, I was fit. I had lost a bunch of weight. I had gained muscle. I was working out pretty much every day for a while. Then one day when I'm working out, I jump off of a box jump. I'm doing box jumps because I want to become a boxer. That's not how you become a boxer, by the way. It's just doing box jump. There are other things involved. But anyway, so I'm doing box jumps and I fall and I break my fifth metatarsal, which is a bone in the foot, and it's a really slow healing bone. So, and then I get a surgery, and the surgery is botched. So I'm out of, I can't walk for like 9 months. Or I can, but then on crutches. But I live in an apartment building where there's no elevator, so I crutch up and down the stairs on my butt, and then things that you take for granted, like taking out the trash, goes out the door. So trash collects in my room. I start ordering bad food because I live above a Jimmy John's, and then I order Papa John's, a lot of John in my life at that time, and I gained back all the weight. So the last time I lived by myself was terrible, but this time, 8 years later, I think I've learned a few things on how to be a person, and the main thing is that I'm never going to do box jumps ever again. I'm 30 years old. Jumping at my size is stupid. So I'm going to do things how I like this year, and what I've been describing as one of my main goals for the year, or my perspective shift, is I'm going into full denial mode this year. Full denial mode. FDM. And what full denial mode means to me is a couple things. It means, one, when it comes to stand-up and I go on stage, I'm going to pretend that everyone in the audience loves me and is not judging me, and any of the mean things they say amongst themselves that they think I cannot hear are not true. And I'm going to act like whatever I want to do, like if I go on stage and I make a fool of myself, I'm not going to feel bad about it all night. And I think this comes from wanting to be able to be myself unapologetically. And with that, I think comes a lot of denial. No one is thinking about that handshake that you fucked up 4 years ago. Okay? No one's thinking at it past the moment, realizing that most people are thinking about themselves only, and you can use that to grow. I don't have to dwell on what people think of me. And it's a weird contrast because I'm a stand-up comedian, so people getting to know me is part of the gig. And I like to be silly and I like to joke, and because jokes are great to me. But I also have to inject some sort of authenticity. And part of authenticity is accepting that you're not going to be liked by everyone. But I'm going full denial mode. If someone does not like me, they do. They like me a lot. In fact, I'm the only person they like. I'm going in front of audiences, and everyone in the audience loves me regardless. And I think it's going to free up space for me to make decisions. I know it sounds crazy, but if I deny everything, because for so much of my life has been self-scrutiny, and so I want to get to a place where I'm not scrutinizing myself, because it only takes mental energy from the things I'd actually like to do. It would be so funny if this time the camera wasn't recording. Like, the first time I recorded a podcast like for 50 minutes before this. And I really got to a good place, and there were some like dogs walking by, and I said hi to the dogs, and everyone was chill. It's a nice Saturday here in Austin. Beautiful weather, good park, everyone's out and about trying to get that sun in. Shouts out Huberman. Got to get some light in the retinas, get that circadian cycle. So anyway, I wasn't recording the whole time. And I ended on this really cathartic note where I was like, I felt like I had weaved the beginning and the end together, and then I looked over to the recorder and I had not hit record. And I think what I also got to do this year is, like, I'm figuring out my systems, how I operate as a human being, because I'm a weird one. So I gotta fight weird with weird, So, for instance, this recorder now is recording because I recorded that last podcast, but I think I'm gonna put a note on that says, "Hey Dylan, is this recording?" I feel like I have to operate my life like that Memento guy. He gets tattoos to remind it. He has amnesia or whatever. And so he has to tattoo all these things that he wants to remind himself of. I'm that type of guy where I have to see it. Otherwise, I'm just like going around the world like aimless. So that's part of it. Full denial mode for me also means this year I'm not going to feel bad about any of the thing I put out. Oh, it only got 100 likes. No, it was a good Instagram reel. It was good enough. It's good enough. Put it out there. Get in the mode of doing things, because the self-criticism is such a barrier for me to get anything done. So I think I'm going full other side of the spectrum, and I'm going to try this confidence thing, and I'm going to try the denial, because you see other people do it. And you see people deny, like I've seen comedians where they'll have like an alright set, and and then they'll come off stage and they're like, that was great. They were so much fun. And I think to myself, well, no, it wasn't. I saw the set, and a part of me thought that that wasn't good for them, to believe that they did well when they didn't. But I think this year I'm going to try that, is even if things aren't going well, I'm going to pretend like they are, because I think it'll free up space where I can be creative. I was talking earlier in the last podcast that wasn't recorded about David Lynch, and R.I.P. David Lynch. I didn't know all of your work, but everything I saw was fascinating and also terrifying. So, and he was talking about the creative process, and his philosophy was that if you have a strong base in your life, the essentials are down, meaning you've got shelter, you're taking care of yourself, you do all these things to set up your day, that it gives you more space to be creative, because you've got an anchor, so to speak, that you can always go back to. if you have a life that you build, if you get the essentials down, then you can really go anywhere you want to go. And I think for so long I've been ignoring essentials and not taking time for myself and doing and hanging out with people all the time, which I love doing. They're my friends, but I need to do more things for myself. And that's what I'm trying to do. And that's part of why I'm podcasting today, is I'm trying to do things that I like and things that will help me. And I hope you get something from it too. And I haven't figured out how this is going to be or what I'm going to talk about. I'm still trying to figure out the things I'm passionate about. And right now, or as of lately, it's been Denny's again. And I'm excited because I've been talking about Denny's for about a year and a half, like a psychopath. But it's information that I like. So I want to follow things that I like, and I want to do more things for myself. Like today, when I was driving here to film this, there's a bonsai van parked right by the lake there. And it said bonsai, and then it said Japan. And I was like, oh man, those are things that I like. I like plants, and I like the Japanese. So I think I'm going to go over there, and hopefully he's still there by the time I finish this up. But if not, I'll find him. It's a bonsai van. Who thinks of that? That rules. So I'm getting this new 1-bedroom apartment. I'm super excited because I feel like I'll be able to be more weird, be closer to myself, because I'm a kind of guy that talks to myself and I act like a creep, and I want a place in my life where I feel completely unobserved. Because having roommates, as some of you may know, if you have thin walls, the feeling I can hear my roommate, which means my roommate can hear me. And it's no fault of his. We're, poor. But like, if you can get to a place, I finally got a place where I feel like, oh, I can completely be a psycho weirdo unapologetically. If I feel like I'm being heard, then I don't think I can access what I actually feel about things. And part of this podcast is exploring how I actually feel about stuff, because I don't, people say that I play my cards close to the chest and that I don't reveal about a lot of myself, and I want to figure out what my opinions are. I don't know what they are, or maybe I do. So part of this podcast, it sounds self-aggrandizing, but I'm going FDM. I don't care if it's self-aggrandizing. I'm going to do it. It doesn't matter. So that's why I'm super excited to move into this new place. And going back to David Lynch, he's saying, create a life, get the basics down, basically. And that's what I've been trying to learn for so long, is just getting the basics down. How you operate as a person, Are you more productive in the morning or in the night? What do you actually love? What things in your place do you actually need? Like, I've been watching these videos on feng shui by this cool Asian guy, and he makes Instagram reels. And so I've been learning about putting items in your house in power positions, like your desk, in a command position, they call it. And basically it's like, you don't want to be the feeling of like being attacked. So he says, like, for instance, if you have a door, you don't want to have your desk facing the opposite side of the door, right? And it makes sense, because if you walked into a CEO's office and he was sitting and facing out the window, you'd respect him a little bit less. So I'm putting things in my apartment in the command position. I'm placing everything in my apartment from a position of power, including my bonsai plant that I'm going to buy. I'm going to tape a gun to the side of it so they know not to fuck with me. You know what I mean? But anyway, this is what I'm trying to do to figure out my systems and figure out what I feel about things. And it may be self-aggrandizing, but who gives a fuck? Full denial mode means being yourself and denying that anyone cares. If I can get to a place where I can speak authentically, even if it's not hilarious, it's interesting because it's you. It's what makes you unique, you know? So that's why I'm excited, because I'm finally going to have a place where I can talk and say weird things and be a creep. And so I'm really excited about this 1-bedroom apartment. I think it'll do very fun things for my life. Right now I'm in the park, straight up chilling. Like I said, saw some dogs earlier. Do you guys know any good music? I'm always trying to add, like, I don't know how much of a community thing this is, but I really need music. So if you have like 1 or 2 songs that you really fuck with, if you could send or comment them, whatever. I'm really trying to get new tunes. I've been going to coffee shops is where I get most of my music. And then I ask the phone. I don't want to trigger her right now, but you know who the Apple phone lady is. I ask her what the song is, and then I add it into my library. Big on vibes, you know. So if you have any vibe songs, that would be really cool. I do this thing. I do this thing where, you know, I'll. Sorry, I'm just getting the recorder adjusted, aka laying down. I do this thing where I listen to a song 1,000,000 times until I'm tired of it, and then I move on to the next song. So for like 2-3 days, I'll listen to one song repeatedly. Last night was Malibu by Miley Cyrus. The sky is so blue in Malibu, which right now it probably isn't, you know, because the fires. But it's a really catchy song, and you know, I think I'll probably listen to that for like another day or so, and then I'll move on to something else. Something else that I like. So, I'm figuring out my systems. I'm drinking water. That's a big one. So I go to Starbucks, and there's a Starbucks that I go to right now, and I fell in love with the last barista, and him and I went on 2 dates, and then it ended bad. He wanted to be friends, but still wanted me to pay for things. So I was like, I can't get in a situation like that. So I just kind of cut off that relationship. It wasn't a relationship. It was just a guy I asked out. But I can't keep on asking out these baristas. I like this Starbucks, and it's really close to me. Although, since I'm moving to my new place, I have a new Starbucks closer to me. So an entire another batch of baristas I can fall in love with and possibly ruin that coffee location for me. Because I think about baristas, and to me, baristas are like the morning seductress. They're like the one person that you go, wow, I didn't know people could be hot in the morning. And I wake up so late, so it's really afternoon. But, yeah, I worked at a Starbucks when I first moved to Austin for a few months. And it was terrible because I would do the morning shift. So I'd get done with comedy at, say, midnight or 1 sometimes. And then I'd have to be in, I believe it was 4:30. 4 or 4:30. So I would get no sleep, and then I'd work a terrible job. Starbucks is a terrible place to work, unless you're trans, which is what I found out. I had a trans coworker, and she told me that if you work for Starbucks an amount of time, that Starbucks will actually pay for your transition and surgery, you know, through their health insurance or whatever. So Starbucks, in addition to pumping out all these coffees, is pumping out trans, you know, so I don't know what your feeling is, but, you know, there's that. And then I worked with this 22-year-old assistant manager who was a theater major, and she wanted me to hurt women. she didn't want me to hurt women. She made me want to hurt women by how she acted. Because I was older than her, and something about taking orders from a theater major really upset me. It really upset me to have such a goofy major, and also you get to be in charge. No, you don't get to be silly, fun, singy, dancy, and then also tell me to take cups to the dumpster. I hated it. I hated her because she would scrutinize every little thing I did. I did not like her energy. I don't like it when people, because you have people in your life sometimes that you ever have those people that like scrutinize every little thing you do, but it's not quite big enough so you can't call it out. So you stick around and it's like they almost know when to be nice. Like when you're finally about to say fuck you for real, they know when to ease up. They keep you in this like bleed mode where they'll stab you with a toothpick and then retreat. Stab you with another little toothpick and then retreat. And she was one of those. And the theater major part was the thing that pissed me off the most. And there's something about theater majors where they thrive in like the ultra liberal coffee spaces because they understand power dynamics and they understand manipulation and acting. Did not like that. She was mean. So now I have a new Starbucks crew that I can possibly hit on, which I won't because, again, I'm trying to get free waters, improve the systems, right? The basics. I get the Trenta water. I'm going FDM. That means I don't care that I'm asking for the 30-ounce cup of water that's free. I'm going to do it anyway because I ordered a coffee, and I always tip $2. So that $2 is going to the water. And what's it to you, bozo? Going FDM, full apologetic. Going FA on that FDM. No, I guess it'd be unapologetic. I'm going FUA on that FDM. Full unapologetic, full denial mode. That means I'm cool all the time. That means my Instagram reels aren't lame. I'm actually dope. And I'm going to treat myself as such. You cocksucking dorks. Not if you actually are gay. But if you aren't gay, actually both. Yeah. Everyone's equal to me. If you're a cocksucker, you suck. I don't mean whatever genitals you put in your mouth, but you know a cocksucker when you see a cocksucker. And boy, do I not like cocksuckers today. So, I'm excited. I'm moving on into my own one-bedroom apartment. I'm 30. I know that doesn't seem like a huge accomplishment or nothing, but I'm fucking happy about it. I have my dream job, and I'm making enough to live independently. And that rules. I'm very excited. And we're going to figure out together what this podcast... Oh my God, a bag in the wind. Like that movie. Wow. Okay, anyway. I'm, sitting in a park here. I like talking. Got some sun in the eyes. Thanks, Huberman. We're going to keep on talking. Next week, I'm going to bring in, I think, questions or topics. We're going to find out things. And then eventually, I'd like to get to a place where if you have a question or something you're going through, I'd love to give you advice or talk to you about it. So I'm going to come up with a link, okay? I'm going to come up with a link where people can leave voice messages. Then I'll find a way to play the voice messages here. That way, we can talk. And next time I'm going to hit the record button. This is a short one for now, but I hope you have a great day. I hope your 2025 is full of denial because you deserve it. You deserve to not care so much about what people think about you, even if it's negative, because it's not serving you. It's not freeing space for you to do what you want to do and to do what you love. So why not be in denial? Some of the best have done it. Napoleon thought he was tall. No, I don't know if he did. But my point is, if you deny, the negative energy, then I think it'll open up a lot more space for us. And I'm super pumped to move forward with this year and do things for myself. And you can do things for yourself too. And we can all hang out in parks and podcasts next to trees. Because that's the future, baby. That's what we're in it for, is making Instagram reels. So let's do it with passion and beauty and friendship forever. I love you guys. Welcome to this podcast. We're figuring it out. It doesn't matter if this first episode isn't like, he didn't do his take on P. Diddy. Maybe I'll do it next episode. I don't know what to talk about, but we're figuring it out together. You have a wonderful year, 2025, and I will see you next week. I love you. Goodbye.